There's a quiet power hidden in gratitude. Not the kind we post about, not the polite thank you at dinner, but the kind that cracks your heart open when you realize everything you once took for granted was a gift. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, and before your thoughts rush in, there's a pause. The sunlight spills across the floor. You hear the faint hum of life, birds, wind, breath. Nothing extraordinary, and yet, somehow, everything feels sacred. But then, the world begins again. Deadlines, screens, noise. And that sacred moment? It vanishes, buried under the weight of more. We live chasing what's missing, never seeing what's already here. We measure abundance by what we acquire, not by what we appreciate. And in doing so, we forget the ancient truth whispered by sages for centuries. The more you thank life, the more life gives you to thank for. Gratitude is not an act, it's a lens, a way of seeing that turns the ordinary into a miracle. A shift so small, and yet it changes everything. So the real question is, what if the fullness you're searching for is already within you, waiting to be seen? We live in an age of abundance, and yet, we've never felt more deprived. Our homes overflow with things, our phones with images, our minds with information. But ask someone, do you feel content? And you'll often see hesitation behind their smile. It's strange. We have everything our ancestors dreamed of: comfort, connection, control. And still, a quiet emptiness hums beneath the surface of our lives. We scroll endlessly, hungry for meaning. We chase success as if it will save us. We gather possessions hoping they'll anchor us. But somehow, the more we gain, the less alive we feel. Because in our pursuit of more, we've forgotten how to see the simple beauty in an ordinary morning, the grace of a shared glance, the quiet pulse of our own breath. We are surrounded by miracles, but blinded by comparison. We say we want happiness, but what we really want is control. We want the world to fit our plans, our pace, our perfection. But life doesn't work that way. It flows, unpredictable, imperfect, wild. And the more we resist it, the more we suffer. That's the paradox. We seek fullness by grasping tighter, when in truth, fullness only arrives when we open our hands. Look around any city street. People rush past each other, earbuds in, eyes down, hearts elsewhere. Everyone moving fast, but no one really arriving. We've mistaken motion for meaning, achievement for peace, gratitude for weakness. And yet, somewhere inside us, a voice still whispers, slow down, look closer. Because gratitude isn't something we earn, it's something we remember. A cup of tea cooling beside you, a friend's laughter echoing across a small cafe, the warmth of sunlight on your face after a long night. These are not background moments. They're the essence of being alive. But modern life trains us to overlook them, to scroll past our own existence, to confuse abundance with excess and peace with productivity. We count blessings like numbers, but rarely feel them with our whole being. And so, the question emerges again. What if the emptiness we feel is not from lacking, but from forgetting to notice what's already here? We don't need more to be grateful. We need less noise, less striving, less illusion that life must be different before it can be enough. The truth is both simple and radical. Gratitude doesn't begin when life is perfect. It begins when we stop demanding that it should be. 5. Because gratitude isn't about changing the world. It's about changing the way you see it. And once that shift happens, the smallest things begin to shine. The morning light, the scent of rain, the fact that you are still here, breathing, part of this endless unfolding mystery called life. And maybe, just maybe, that's the miracle we've been missing all along. Gratitude is not an emotion that visits us when things go well. It's a discipline of awareness, a way of seeing the world through the eyes of wonder, even when life feels heavy. We often think of gratitude as a reaction, something we feel after good fortune arrives. But the great paradox is this: gratitude is not the result of happiness, it's the source of it. To be grateful is to say yes to life, not just to its beauty, but also to its imperfection. It's to recognize that even pain has its purpose, that even loss teaches love, that even silence holds music, if we're patient enough to listen. Dalai Lama once said, "Only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us the tranquility and happiness we all seek." But what most people miss is that gratitude is the root of both compassion and understanding. It humbles the ego and softens the heart. It turns life from something to possess into something to participate in. Think of a tree in the wind. When the storm comes, it doesn't curse the sky. It bends. It yields. It accepts what is. And in that surrender, it survives. Gratitude is that bending of the soul, a deep bow to the mystery of existence. But how do we live like that, in a world that worships control? How do we stay open when everything in us wants to resist? The answer begins in the smallest moments. When you wake up, don't rush to fill the silence. Listen. Feel the rhythm of your own breathing. That breath is a gift, not a guarantee. When you drink your morning coffee, taste it. Let it warm you. Don't let your mind run ahead to what's next. Because what's next is never guaranteed either. When someone smiles at you, truly see them. Let gratitude turn that fleeting human moment into something eternal. This is not sentimentalism. It's awareness in motion. Gratitude brings the world into focus. It transforms ordinary into sacred. But notice how the modern mind fights this. It says, "I'll be grateful when I get the promotion, when I find the right person, when my body looks a certain way, when the pain finally stops." But life doesn't wait for when. It happens now. And if we don't learn to meet it here, we'll spend our whole lives chasing something we already have. Because the truth is, nothing we acquire will ever fill the space that only awareness can. No success will taste sweet if we forget how to appreciate simplicity. No relationship will heal us if we haven't first said thank you to the life already beating inside our own chest. Gratitude is not about ignoring what's wrong. It's about widening the frame. To see that even in struggle, there's something right. Every challenge is a mirror showing us where we cling too tightly. Every disappointment is a teacher reminding us what really matters. Every ending, no matter how painful, clears space for something new to begin. This doesn't mean we must always smile or pretend everything is fine. Gratitude doesn't deny suffering. It transforms it. It turns "why me" into "what is this here to teach me?" It turns fear into humility, and humility into peace. When you can look at your pain and still whisper, "Thank you," you've discovered a rare kind of freedom, the kind no circumstance can take away. Because life will not always be kind. There will be days when nothing seems enough, when love feels distant, when your plans fall apart, when even your reflection looks like a stranger. But gratitude waits beneath all that. It's the quiet voice saying, "You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still part of this moment, and this moment is still sacred." It's easy to be grateful for sunsets and laughter, harder to be grateful for endings and silence. And yet it's often the silence that teaches us how to see. Without loss, we wouldn't understand love. Without failure, we wouldn't taste growth. Without darkness, light would be meaningless. And so gratitude becomes a form of wisdom, a recognition that everything, even the unwanted, belongs. When the Dalai Lama smiles, it's not because life has spared him pain. It's because he's made peace with its impermanence. He understands that joy is not the absence of sorrow, it's the ability to hold both at once, like night holding the moon. Gratitude is not passive. It's an act of courage. It says, "I will not wait for perfect conditions to open my heart. I will love what is here, even when it's not what I expected." And something remarkable happens when you live this way. The world begins to soften. Moments that once felt meaningless begin to shimmer with quiet depth. You start noticing how light dances on a window, how strangers hold the door, how the rain cleanses more than just the streets. You realize that gratitude doesn't change what you have, it changes what you see. And when you see differently, you live differently. So perhaps the question is no longer, how do I find happiness? But how do I see life clearly enough to recognize that happiness has been here all along? Because once that seeing begins, once gratitude becomes your natural gaze, the simplest things become holy. The silence, the breath, the moment you're in, right now. That's where fullness lives. And maybe that's all we ever needed to remember. There was once a woman who lived on the edge of a vast mountain valley. Every morning, she would wake before dawn, light a small candle, and whisper a single prayer. "May my life be full." She worked hard. She grew her own food, tended her small garden, and mended what she owned. But deep down, she felt a quiet hunger, a sense that her life was missing something unnamed. So one day, she decided to climb the great mountain that loomed over her village. She believed that at its summit, she would find the secret to a fuller life. She packed what little she had: bread, water, a blanket, and her candle. And as she began to climb, the world below faded into mist. The first day, she passed travelers who told her to turn back. "There's nothing up there," they said. But she continued. The path grew steeper, the air thinner. At night, she lit her candle to push back the darkness, a small flame trembling against the wind. By the third day, her food was gone. Her feet bled. The wind howled like a living thing. She fell to her knees exhausted, whispering, "Why can't I find it? Where is the fullness I seek?" And in the silence that followed, something strange happened. Her candle, the one she had guarded so carefully, blew out. She wept. Without its light, the mountain became an endless shadow. The sky above her stretched wide and merciless. She felt utterly alone. But then, her eyes began to adjust to the darkness. And in that darkness, she saw something she had never seen before. The stars. They shimmered across the sky, infinite and alive. The whole mountain glowed with their reflection. And she realized all this beauty had been there the entire time. Her candle, though comforting, had blinded her to the vastness around her. It wasn't more light she needed. It was less fear of the dark. She sat in silence for a long time, breathing in the cold air, the scent of stone and pine. And in that stillness, gratitude bloomed, not for what she had found, but for what had been revealed when she stopped searching. When dawn came, she did not rush to relight her candle. She simply watched the first rays spill over the horizon, turning the peaks gold, then pink, then white. And in that moment, she whispered a new prayer. May my life be enough. When she descended back to the village, she carried no treasure, no secret wisdom, only a quiet smile. Her neighbors asked, "What did you find at the top?" She simply said, "I found the sky." From then on, she lived differently. She still worked, still tended her garden, still mended what she owned, but her movements carried a grace, a lightness, as if she understood something the world had forgotten. When storms came, she didn't curse the rain. She listened to it. When crops failed, she didn't despair. She shared what she had. When nights grew long and cold, she didn't fear the dark. She watched for the stars, and people began to notice, not because she had more, but because she needed less. They called her the woman of light, though she no longer carried a candle. Her light came from within, a steady, unshakable gratitude that glowed even in her silence. Her story spread beyond the valley, carried by travelers and wanderers, and each person who heard it would look up at the night sky, and for a moment feel something shift. A reminder that maybe fullness isn't found by climbing higher, but by seeing deeper. Gratitude, like the stars, has always been there, hidden behind the noise, waiting for our eyes to adjust. Sometimes life blows out our candle, not to punish us, but to help us finally see. And when we do, when we stop searching for light and begin noticing the one already shining, that's when we begin to live. Because the mountain we climb is never out there, it's within us. And the summit we reach is not a place, it's a way of seeing. There comes a moment in every life when the striving stops. When the noise quiets, the chase loses its thrill, and all that's left is stillness. At first, it feels unbearable, that silence. We mistake it for emptiness, but if you stay there long enough, something miraculous happens. The silence starts to speak. It tells you that life has never been waiting to give you meaning. It's been waiting for you to see it. You begin to notice how the smallest things pulse with life. The rhythm of your heartbeat, the warmth of your breath, the weight of sunlight resting softly on your skin. Each one whispers, you are already part of everything. And in that recognition, something inside you softens. The walls you've built, the comparisons, the resentments, the should-haves begin to crumble. You start to understand that gratitude isn't an act of politeness, it's an act of freedom. To be grateful is to stop fighting life. It's to surrender to its flow, even when you don't understand it. It's to trust that what is happening right now is not in your way, but on your way. This is the quiet power the Dalai Lama speaks of, not the kind that dominates or demands, but the kind that dissolves the illusion of separation, the kind that reminds us we are not owed a single thing, and yet we are given everything. Every morning we wake up is a beginning, disguised as ordinary. Every person we love is a fragile miracle borrowed for a time. Every breath is both a letting go and a renewal. And when you start to see life that way, you realize gratitude is not something you feel once in a while. It's something you become. You walk slower. You listen deeper. You stop trying to fill every silence, because you begin to sense that the silence itself is full of grace, full of presence, full of the unspoken truth that life is not about getting, but receiving. The woman on the mountain learned this when her candle went out. You'll learn it when life takes something you thought you couldn't live without, and then shows you that you still can, that what remains is raw, tender, alive, that loss doesn't make you smaller, it expands you, because the heart that breaks open lets more light in. And when you finally bow your head in gratitude, not because life is perfect, but because it's real, that's when everything changes. You stop waiting for someday. You stop measuring your worth by your wins. You stop treating the present moment like a stepping stone, and you start living it. Gratitude doesn't give you more things. It gives you more of yourself. It reminds you that every moment you spend longing for something else is a moment you lose sight of the miracle already unfolding. And in that awareness, in that surrender, you find something that no amount of success can buy: peace. So maybe the secret isn't to chase a full life, but to realize life has always been full. You just have to open your heart wide enough to see it. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath, slow, gentle, deliberate. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, the weight of your body resting on the earth. This is life, simple, unfiltered, already enough. You don't need to climb another mountain, win another battle, or chase another dream to be whole. Wholeness isn't something you earn. It's something you remember. It's the quiet knowing that beneath all your striving, all your becoming, you were complete from the very beginning. Gratitude is the doorway back to that remembering. It doesn't ask you to deny your pain. It simply asks you to see it in context, as part of the greater pattern that makes you human. So tonight, before you sleep, don't count your problems. Count your breaths. Count the hands that have held you, the moments that have carried you, the lessons that have shaped you. And as you do, notice how the world softens, how life once again feels generous. Because gratitude doesn't change your circumstances, it changes you. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already miraculous. And maybe that's what the Dalai Lama meant when he said, "The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation." So, open your heart. Let life in, even the uncertain, the imperfect, the ordinary. For the more you thank life, the more life thanks you back. Gratitude is the art of seeing abundance where others see absence.